Today's question comes from Angela. Hi, Angela. She watched my video on chicken run bedding where I mentioned in this run in particular, the entire floor under the bedding here is lined with hardware cloth that's attached to the frame. That's actually how we're keeping burrowing predators out. Angela wants to know how I constructed this hardware cloth floor. So in this video, I'm going to share with you why you might want to build a hardware cloth floor, why you might not, exactly how we built it, and what we wished we would have done differently. First, why? Why a hardware cloth floor? Because it's impenetrable, or at least it has been in our experience. This isn't the first run we've built this way. This type of floor has kept out every burrowing predator we've ever had, from foxes to weasels. So why wouldn't you want a hardware cloth floor? This type of floor is impractical if your chicken run is really large. If that's the case, you're better off trenching the perimeter of the run and then burying the walls of the run about a foot in the ground. You can see we're actually in the process of doing that now. We're building a larger yard and we've trenched the perimeter. We're just waiting on posts to arrive and then we can start building the fence. But in a smaller run, like this one, the hardware cloth floor is easier and faster to build and, in my experience, completely effective. How did I build the hardware cloth floor? I didn't. My husband did. My husband builds everything for us. Sometimes I play the assistant, but he's the brawn of this operation. And the brains, if I'm completely honest. You can find my husband at his YouTube channel, Redtail Woods Off Grid, but I'm going to show you now in 10 simple steps exactly how he constructed this floor. Step 1, level the area. When we had our road and housing pad put in, we just had the excavators also excavate a pad for our chicken coop and run. That's what you see here. So the ground under the run was already pretty level when we started to build the run. But my husband did level the ground at a finer scale just using his shovel and level. But you can see here how much he's, well, half-assing it. We were very badly time crunched for getting this run done. We had to finish before the winter snows hit so we could move ourselves and our chickens into our new home for the winter, and we just had so little time, so we half-assed a lot of things on this run, and this leveling was one of them. But my husband says he really regrets half-assing this step because all of the later steps, from putting up the walls to building the roof, all of those would have gone so much more smoothly had he just taken the time to ensure the ground was completely level. So please consider taking your time at this step. Step 2, lay the perimeter. My husband made a perimeter with pressure-treated boards. To join the boards together, he just nailed or screwed the boards into pieces of OSB at the joints. This was another one of those things he would have done differently if we'd had time. What he wanted to do was use 2 layers of pressure-treated boards, so he would have layered 2 boards on top of each other. He would have offset them a little bit so he could screw them together, and then that would have made a lot stronger base. Unfortunately, he didn't have enough boards on hand to do that, and it's an hour drive into town one way, and we just didn't have the time. Step 3, cut your hardware cloth to size and roll it out on the ground. We used 1/4-inch hardware cloth because even the tiniest predators in our area can't get through that. Hello, Madge. My husband had to cut 3 pieces of wire to make 3 rows in order to fully cover the area of our run floor. Note, the rows of the hardware cloth here are overlapping a bit. That's really important. You don't want to have your hardware cloth pieces just touching at the seam. That can create a potential weak spot that something might be able to push through. When you instead overlap those pieces of hardware cloth, there are no weak spots. Step 4, attach the hardware cloth pieces together. We attach the pieces together with these heavy-duty zip ties. I'm sure there are many other ways you could do this, but this has worked for us. Step 5, staple the hardware cloth to the perimeter board. Step 6, build the walls.
There is the first wall. Sweet.
Step 7, attach the walls above the hardware cloth.
There we go. Okay.
My husband assembled the walls on top of the hardware cloth floor. He screwed the walls to the perimeter boards with the hardware cloth sandwiched in between. Ain't nothing getting through that. Huh, Stella? Step 8, add a well-draining material to the top of the hardware floor. Once we finished building the run, we added a thick layer of gravel on top of the hardware cloth floor, and then we added a thick layer of sand on top of the gravel. This ensured we'd have proper drainage in the run. What are you doing? You're goofy today. You just proved my point. I love you. Come here, little girl. You're the sweetest. Step 9, my favorite step, add chickens. She's fucking. Did you change your mind, Elvira? Step 10, add more bedding if you want to. Hi, Madge, you're still the only one out here. You can just use the sand layer as your bedding, or you can add organic bedding like I did. I just added some bags of aspen shavings and some straw bales, and I let my chickens do the spreading. And now everyone's coming out. Look how much they're already excited about the straw, but they so enjoy foraging. Alright, I don't want to disturb them, but I am going to turn this bucket over. This flower pot. Sorry guys. You may be uncertain whether you should use sand bedding in your chicken run or if you're better off using organic bedding like I now do. The best option for you is really going to depend on your environment and the way you've designed your run. I do have a video that guides you through that step by step. You can watch it here or click on the link in the description below. Happy chickening!